Hello, and welcome back to Reverse 1999. We're back with Chapter 9. And, yeah, last time we went into the prison, and, let's get into a Latin American fable. A salute to a literary society born within a prison. No, a tribute to an impossible miracle. Alright. A Latin American fable.
I didn't expect any of this from what we saw outside.
The mottled, yet pristine walls, the still waters, the silent white tower standing within the labyrinth. Nearby, several prisoners form a circle, someone standing, someone sitting, engaged in conversation.
Excuse me for a moment. I have duties that I must attend to.
Alright. With a sigh, the jailer steps into the gathering, causing a strangely subdued reaction from the prisoners.
They don't seem intimidated by her at all.
Yeah. They just look like a bunch of artists having a chat in the garden. And the jailer seems to be like a grumpy neighbor coming over to ask them to keep it down.
The grumpy neighbor continues her chastising.
Everyone, you know the rules. There are to be no after-hours gatherings here without the physician's approval.
Her mouth movements look a little bit odd, I will say.
You sound softer and softer each time you come to warn us. Why not just join us? Isn't it better than circling around the Panopticon all day?
Sorry if you hear that, like, construction near my house.
And look around you. We're in the Hall of New Encounters. What better place to host a salon?
Is this I don't know if the microphone is capturing the thing.
You're missing out in Comala if you don't even get a taste of our literature.
Exactly. Even those oil-dripping musicians drop by from time to time. Not that they're the kind to care about the beauty of words.
Oil-dripping musicians? Timekeeper, could they mean...
Manus Vindictae, alright, yeah. Before the jailer can say anything else, two of the prisoners simultaneously gesture for her to stay silent, pointing to the center of their gathering.
Quiet now, please. The Ediles Salon is about to start.
These people seem friendly enough. Why don't we see what this is about?
Oh, going back to that aspect ratio.
En desiertos, en estrellas, dentro de laberintos.
En aguas, en espejos, dentro de reflejos.
Soñamos sobre la almohada de paja de la muerte.
Alright.
Aquí estamos, rendiendo homenaje a los fantasmas.
Para rendirlo todo otra vez. Para rendirlo todo otra vez.
My dear friends, we face a difficult truth. The movement of visceral realism still stumbles in the dark. Our poems, our language, our minds are tangled by a stifling vine. A mundane, stale vision shared among all bourgeoisie. We follow this vision blindly, clinging to the comfort brought by logic and conventional wisdom. And by it, we nip every branch of new art in the bud. Poems are perhaps too fragile an outgrowth to develop one's life upon. But here, we may light them like candles at our funerals.
Okay.
Let poetry become the bridge between us and the world.
A lone clap breaks the silence. It comes earlier than all the others cheering from the audience.
As we come back and forth over the boundaries of life and death, the old obstacles begin to take on a new look. With the eye, you're a visceral realist.
Sorry.
As we come back and forth over the boundaries of life and death, the old obstacles begin to take on a new look. With the eyes of poets, we may see behind them. I can't be mistaken. You must be...
The idealist's eyes pierce through the grove of literary enthusiasts, reaching a distant, drifting new world.
A lonely cowboy, finally home. What a wonder. You're in time. The salon has just begun. And La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas isn't like those salons that care more about who's invited than the art. All are welcome here.
Alright.
A literary salon in a prison? Though, so far it seems to have more dancing than poems.
Did you understand what that man just said?
No, sorry, Timekeeper. I need a moment to think it through.
Don't worry, Sonato. I would guess we're not the only ones who are confused here. Miss Jailer, is this that peculiarity about Kamala you mentioned earlier?
Enough, idealist. You're still an inmate here, and you are walking a very fine line right now.
Oh, I'm quite aware of where I am and what lines I tread. This is a prison. The safest place for poets in this part of the continent. One cannot be arrested twice, after all.
I don't know. You can be put into solitary confinement, which it's the way to, no, it actually is worse than just prison. The man's words draw laughter from the other prisoners as they turn to discuss the speech with excitement.
But please, don't trouble yourself with our little farce. What harm could a few poets possibly do?
All the irregular rhymes and wild contradictions of aesthetics converge into a chaotic countercurrent, crashing against the newcomers. Recoleta clenches her fist in shock, as certain that the man before her is her mysterious pen pal.
Senor Idealist, might I ask you something?
Okay, let's see if it actually is him.
Hold on, Recoleta. All forms of communication with the inmates must conform to our regulations. We will need to record the conversation and submit it to higher authorities for review.
I have some questions for the gentleman as well. But we're more than willing to follow the rules. I think the person I'm looking for might have attended this literary salon. Or at least talked to some of its members. I'd wager she's spoken to that gentleman. That is, if she has been here at all.
I see. Go ahead then. Just watch the time.
As the visitors petition Jailer, Recoleta pushes past the bustling crowd and takes a deep breath.
Are you Aleph?
Ah, damn it. The noisy atmosphere plunges into silence, just like the still waters nearby. The idealist is evidently taken aback by the name.
Oh, another visitor looking for Olive.
Oh. Hey, it's the prisoner in the cave music.
So you know him?
Naturally, but I'm not obliged to speak of him to one who does not, stranger.
The salon host is non-committal, turning towards Recoleta's companions.
And you, young lady in the hat, are you here for Olive as well? What a lively day this is.
No, I'm looking for a blind woman. Her name is Doris.
Ah, yes, I remember. Her writing was impeccable, like an exquisite crocodile skin handbag in a shop window. Elegant, yet condescending.
Do you know where she is now?
I'm not able to keep track of every inmate here, miss. Perhaps you should ask those who have seen everything from above.
A panopticon, exactly.
Through the glass, where the scrutinizing eyes of power look down on us.
Eyes?
Yep, that thing. She scans the prison halls. The walls, the great tower, and the pool remains unchanged. Nothing appears amiss. All the prisoners present a nod in agreement. Promptly a weary sigh from the jailer.
Have you taken your medicine today, idealist?
Okay. Yeah, obviously he's not very well.
I'm feeling marvelous. Today I require no help from them.
Uh-huh, I'm sure, buddy. I'm sure this is very normal.
I've warned you. It's unwise to act against the physician's orders.
Act against him? No one may act against him here. The physician must have misunderstood us. I suspect he doesn't understand half of what we say. I'd like to know how he got his medical degree. Not by cracking open skulls, I should hope.
The prisoners exchange knowing smiles.
What a pity, jailer. You know, I've always believed you had the soul of a poet, just like us. We've already spoken enough rebellious thoughts outside of Komala. How else do you think we ended up in your nut house? We've been here far too long. Long after the junta was removed from office. After our home became a deserted wasteland in the aftermath of the Latin American boom.
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting at?
That power is boring, meaningless. Nothing holds on to power forever.
Huh. That's an interesting way to put it, yeah.
And the one true connection we have to life is poetry.
Okay, I guess I can see that.
See, jailer? Even an outsider understands our ideas better than you. It's time to open your eyes to reality. La Sociedad is the only way for us to feel truly alive in here, beneath the gaze of those prying, ever-vigilant eyes.
Idealist, last warning. Stop this now.
Okay.
Fine, fine. All right, compañeros. Sadly, the salon must come to an end, as our jailer insists.
The crowd murmurs and grumbles as they begin to disperse.
Dear friends, I do not mean to abuse the power of suspense. I sincerely invite you to come with me to the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. Perhaps you'll find the person you look for there.
The man strikes a gesture, somehow equally comedic and solemn.
We'd love to. Only if that's okay with you, Miss
So
Julia.
yeah, better ask her.
I suppose that's all right. You're already here. We can call it part of your tour, but please, ladies, take none of their ramblings seriously.
Thank you, jailer. Please, follow me.
I do wonder what the hell we're gonna have to fight in this one. What? Huh? Oh, are you kidding me? It's literally directions. Okay, I'm gonna take Resolve out and put a single target person. Maybe you're single target, right?
Always ready to go.
Yeah, okay.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
Choose the right direction.
Wait, this isn't the way to the gallery.
It isn't the usual way. It's a shortcut. We call it the Reptilian Complex and Primal Hunger route. Much faster than the limbic system and postmodern anxiety route, let me tell you.
But this passageway has long been abandoned, and entry is prohibited. It's extremely dangerous too.
Relax, jailer. No one, not even you, knows this prison better than I.
But, Timekeeper, I think we've just gone in a circle.
Okay, in which direction should this be? Let's go straight ahead. Or wait, left. If we're in the labyrinth,
Please stay behind me.
go left.
This crunch should do. Seeing stars. Oh, be careful. Nice
What?
tactic. That's right. Hey,
Be careful.
anyone feeling cold?
My responsibility.
Nice tactic.
Please stay.
That's right. That hurts.
don't know what the hell they want us to do here then.
Please stay behind me.
If it's not
My
choosing one direction, then what the hell?
Be careful.
Just break everything? You know what, fuck it, let's break everything. Damn it, that's not what I wanted to do.
王有不为。
Tien, witness my victory!
You won't get away.
Well,
Nice tactic!
that's just attacking, I guess.
Oh look, here's another one. Seeing stars.
My responsibility. Please stay behind me. 小鸟. Please lend me your power. Please stay behind me.
I guess just break everything then.
This part should do. Nice tactic. That hurts, huh? You are not welcome here.
My responsibility.
A fair game.
Okay, I guess that worked. That was a very weird one. Oh, that's another Doris one. Alright,
Let's take a step back. Pull you out of that whirlwind of passion and dreams.
Okay.
If you want to make the best call, you need to zero in on what really matters. So what's your take on that big speech?
The Latin American boom. Yeah, I want to know what that is too.
A sudden explosion that shook Latin American literary circles about 30 years ago. It was destructive, but also gave rise to new life.
Was it a literal explosion or a literary explosion?
Lucky for us, we don't have to worry about shell shock in the literary world.
You don't strike me as someone who knows about literature.
It's not about knowing literature. Any soldier with little experience can deliver a status report. Alright, eyes on the map.
Alright, let's
As
look
we
up.
speak, ships are lined up on the Spanish coast. But this time, they're poised to make a new kind of discovery. If you can call it that. And here are our new Columbuses, heading to the docks to embark on their journey.
I wonder what sort of implication the Columbus means. Who are these new Columbuses?
Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America.
Okay.
Carmen, with an eye for opportunity and a mind for business, sought out the continent's literary gems and secured generous publishing deals for them. Carlos, with his deep understanding of market dynamics, brought these works to the eyes of the European public.
What happened then?
Then, a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy. And soon, the entire world was captivated by the story of a baby with a pig's tail from a faraway land.
I heard about this one. I don't know.
But we mustn't
It's familiar.
forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child.
I heard of Fuentes, but not Cortázar. I'm not very familiar with Spanish works. I mean, they're like next door neighbors, but we never actually read any of their works, mostly.
And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution, will forever be etched in the annals of history. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other. Ah, friendship.
That must have been a proud time for them.
It was,
What changed?
But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With the second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook, and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice, a new method to speak on their disappointment, their horror, and their anger. And they became the new guerrillas.
I see. And let's see what Doris is going on. Towering walls, prisoners deep into the abyss, paint pictures of the sky, enter the darkness. Yeah, how new encounters is in place. I read in an article that once that you Chileans don't like Baroque literature. Something about it being too noisy. You sure are a quiet bunch. Is that so? And you Argentinians just love it, right? If you're any metric to go by, I'd say you're loud and obnoxious. You just because the idealist is near, you think you can turn the salon into a debate hall? You started it. Enough, stop squabbling, and post your works so we can read it. If you ask me, you're simply more interested in rhythm than form. Spanish is a rich language, one that inherently expressive, ever-changing, and artistic, much like the Baroque literature. The typical quiet man's words douse the argument with like a cold splash of water, sending the group into a rare moment of calm. All jokes aside, I do miss them. Ever since those mad members left La Sociedad, we've had fewer breakthroughs in stream of consciousness writing. You know what she reminds me of? You remember that the one of Verton's friends from chapter 3 that was taken by the storm? That's what she reminds me of. I wonder if she's like... no, I think her eyes are a different color. But yeah, she looks like her. Maybe it's the glasses. I, for one, would gladly discuss the aesthetic value of stream of consciousness composition. And this is Dora's POP. At this new topic surfaces, the inmate's voice began to rise once again. It was a most unusual literary salon, full of emotionally charged statements and biased opinions. But I didn't mind it. In fact, my feeling was quite the opposite. The inmates give me an incredible feeling. Not one of them saw themselves as a prisoner stripped of their freedom. A group of literature enthusiasts coming together in an abandoned prison and collaborating to build an ideal nation. Question: is this in the future? Is the Doris POV taking place in the future? Because the prison isn't abandoned when Verton goes to visit. I don't know, this seems a bit fucky. I don't know. It feels as though it was the result of some kind of pact, but in reality it was clearly a government-run prison. Everyone quiet down, I have something to announce. Oh, is this lady from the trailer? An unfamiliar voice cuts the clacking typewriter in Doris's mind. A woman walks out of the far end of the darkness and steps into the center of the salon, stopping before the whiteboard and podium.
Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon.
He left a letter under a stone in the corner, stating that he had a personal matter to attend to. For this reason, I will now announce the next research topic.
Fiction's duality in reflecting reality and the self.
Right. Heavy gasps, turn heads, and uproar spreads through the audience. Clearly this wasn't the topic they were expecting. She raises the letter in her hand in a gesture for silence.
Like-minded fellows, aspiring writers.
Since the turn of the century, the names that once shook the literary world have gradually faded into obscurity.
Literature's been shoved aside in the world of art.
People attend theaters, cinemas, and even art galleries to enjoy painting and sculptures, but few can finish a book. Honestly, yeah, I have a... this feels really very real.
What is left for us to do?
When families are torn apart and our nations are ravaged by tyrants.
Let stories be our weapon. They should be the sword that cuts through the bloody truth. The beacon that lights our way forward.
The audience falls into silence. You could try writing a Latin American war and peace. What the hell? You could try writing a Latin American war and peace. What? What does that mean? Is that a type of literature? And we could continue with our original salon topics. The two aren't mutually exclusive. I've spent the whole month preparing for the topic the idealist previously proposed. If you insist on changing the subject, then I'm afraid I'll have to take my leave. Miss Octavia, please forgive me for interrupting, but this isn't the topic we agreed on. Everything you've said, we just can't do that. We haven't even figured out things for ourselves yet. Octavia, this is an interesting topic, it is, but perhaps we can talk about it another time. Besides, don't forget the reason you're here. You're in here in the first place, for preaching that novel is a weapon. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure this takes place in a dictatorship. That's pretty dangerous thinking. Yeah, if it weren't for your rich daddy, you'd be on the gallows, not standing here preaching to us. Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey!
Another prisoner stands, his voice clear. You're completely missed Miss Octavia's point. A great writer should be like an obsessive gravedigger, digging up the rotting flesh of social realism from the grave of our time. Only this vast crucible is worthy of to be the host of our literature. At that time, Mr. Garcia looked visibly resistant at Mr. Julio issued stern reminder, and Miss Roberta attempted to mediate. More and more members joined the debate, and voices both for and against Miss Octavia's proposal emerged. It didn't take long for La Sociedad to split into two camps. That was when I realized I needed to do something to get this derailed literary salon back on the tracks.
I'm a writer, and I mostly write under the name Erd.
This really is just like Pillars of Eternity. They have an entire sentence and it's just the last bit is the one that they voice. It's very bizarre. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Doris from São Paulo. I'm a writer. I mostly write under the name Erd.
Erd?
That name sounds familiar.
Have you written for Atu? Are you the Erd in Atu?
Wow, I never imagined you'd welcome such an honored guest today. I thoroughly enjoyed your piece titled The Tin Soldiers of São Paulo.
It's an important part of my visit to hear all the ideas and opinions, if you'll pardon my intrusion.
Then tell me, Miss Erd, what are your thoughts on today's salon topic? A difficult question, one involving preference, a creative stance, and a political alignment. A scale that is never easily balanced. However, the answer has never been the most important part of such questions.
In these restless times, literature has been overlooked, forgotten, pushed to the edges of the world, much like Ushuaia.
Some fall into deep thought, others nod in agreement. A few look puzzled. The audience is largely unaware that the topic has already shifted. Nice Doris, shifting the topic. To most, this prison at the end of the world is a distant, cold place, perhaps even a place of hopelessness. When a prisoner is first sent here, I cannot help but imagine that the first thing they feel is a stagnant pool of water and a calm, quiet despair. Oh my god. She seizes this chance to guide the literary salon back from the muddy trenches of ideology. She recalls the days of typing while looking out the river, over the river, boats and palm trees. Words are honest. They have no capacity to lie. I came here to gather materials for my next book. I plan to record everything I experience in this place, faithfully. And what kind of work are you planning to write? A non-fiction piece, I presume, about Kamala Prison? Its theme is fate. Alright. So Doris came here to look for fate. Interesting. Very interesting. Shadow of the Living. Okay, let's see. We have Recoleta. We have a few of the characters. We have the I kind of wanted her to be playable. Honestly, I like Jaguars. They're very cool. Soneto and okay, yeah. Metallic sheen, rippling water, and shadows that peer back from within the dim reflection.
La investigadora se despierta en su cueva en la duna, que le parecía tan vacía como una tumba. Era poco antes del amanecer. Montones de cintas habían ocupado su espacio vital, apilándose una y otra vez. Cada uno de estos carretes giratorios hablaba de historias sobre esa cabaña con techo azul.
Oh boy, what the hell? Oh, that's a lot of VHS tapes. Not VHS cassettes.
Oyó la voz del asesinado conductor de burros detrás de ella. Oigo a todos ellos, las risas y las voces de generaciones pasadas, como hojas secas atrapadas en las grietas de viejas paredes, crujiendo solo cuando el viento sopla otra vez. No pondría un pie en esa casa si fuera tú. El mendigo al lado de la puerta también habló. Duermo en el porche cada noche. Cada mañana una luz tenue brilla a través de la ventana. Pero nadie sale nunca por esa puerta. Y nadie ha entrado nunca. Luego la voz del empleado del banco. Es la historia del alter ego. Esa casa debe haber estado llena de deudas que nadie reclamaría. La anciana enferma, luchando en su cama, susurró. La casa recuerda esos días, cuando la gente desaparecía en la oscuridad de la noche y los niños eran robados por las tormentas. La investigadora de paracausalidad había oído suficiente y volvió a dormirse. Solo quedaba el traqueteo del dado de Babilonia, resonando en su cueva vacía.
Ah, I'm guessing this is Recoleta's book then. Gallery of the Bewilderment. That is something. In a deteriorating activity hall, thousands of floating slips of paper form a blurred, colossal face. It is hard to imagine how the prisoners managed to transform this place into what it is now. Oh yeah, it is a face. You can see sort of the eyebrows here, the mouth, and the nose. Yeah, it's definitely something.
I've always wanted to use the element of fantasy to better establish our theme. And I was right. Now the stage is captivating, the timing is perfect, and the audience is ideally placed. Only one imperfect element remains in the scene. The creator, who hasn't stepped away from his creation.
Dude, what, don't do anything rash, my man.
No. There's another thing.
This guy looks the type that would, how do I say this without sounding insensitive? Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't seem the type to be a tragic artist like Isolde's brother. Let's put it like that. Garcia, the curator of the exhibition, stands beneath his work, deep in thought, agonizing over every minute imperfection. His fellow poets whisper one to another.
Can you even tell any difference between today's setup and yesterday's?
Seriously, Roberta?
Oh god, what the fuck are you doing here? Diggers, what are you doing here? So you really did join Madness. The skin is canon. Holy shit.
Well, what's the difference then?
Well, I can't see one either. But you should never judge art by how much it changes in a day. It's a creative process. We might be standing at the edge of the world, but art has no boundaries. We have to show him our support.
Easy for you to say. He's been tinkering and tweaking for over 3 months. Even if the idealist himself entrusted him with this exhibition, he can still be wrong sometimes. This gallery is turning into a dump.
Estoy viendo fantasmas, todos con las mismas caras, García. Demasiados. Es fácil perderse en ellos.
Jesus Christ, I hope you don't hear that, but like, Goddamn, there's been a little like you know those little excavadores, the things that dig up the dirt from the ground, yeah? It's been passing around my house for a friend of my house for like every 5 minutes or something. It's so annoying. I can barely hear anything. Having navigated through the labyrinth, the Idealist, the leader of La Sociedad, arrived at the exhibition entrance, accompanied by several new faces and the jailer.
Idealist, you're back? Are these new recruits for La Sociedad? You must have had a very successful day.
Okay, so if they're saying he's back, then I'm guessing the Dores things are in the past, not in the future.
It is good to see you, Garcia. How has your vision progressed today?
First a salon, and now an art gallery. Is this really a prison?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Her shock is evident on her face, but her words are ignored as Garcia begins to vent his frustrations.
As you can see, I've strived to push the element of fantasy in my work so that it might reach perfection.
That's impossible. Nothing is perfect, my man. I'm sorry to tell you this.
But why doesn't it look like what I imagine? It's like I'm trying to work on a shadow. Some shapeless thing that morphs and shifts by the hour. Idealist, am I losing it again? I took my medicine as instructed.
It was never the pills that blinded you, my dear Garcia. You mustn't let tedious routine stifle what's truly alive. Remember, like those old poems, your exhibition must have a timeless rhythm that's never lost to the changing of minds.
Garcia holds out his hand, as if grasping something fleeting, but fails to hold on to it.
Sorry, maybe I'm just not getting it.
Look up. There's your answer. Though the sun rises the same way every day, the multitudes of shadows it casts are ever-changing. Isn't that the only constant in life? Change. We foolishly pursue stability and constancy, but our very world denies it. Take a step back. Take several, and see the truth for yourself, lest you too become lost among the shifting shadows.
I get it now. It's the changing light that makes the exhibit seem different from what I expected. I shouldn't waste my time on freezing things in one perfect moment. Instead, I need to embrace change as it comes. I don't know how to thank you. I won't let you down. I must complete this exhibition. Complete my alter ego.
Okay. The choice of words widens the writer's eyes.
Did you say alter ego? And he called you Garcia. Is that your name? Garcia, where did you learn about this alter ego? Do you happen to write under the name...
Oh, I don't like this at all. But the curator has already returned to his work, uninterested or oblivious to his visitors.
Please, Recoleta, give our artist some space. Can't you see? He's already returned to his own time and space. He can't hear a thing you say.
He's right. Garcia is deep in his own head now. He won't hear a thing until he's done with whatever he has to do. Even if the floor were to collapse out under us, I think he will be left standing in the air without even noticing.
Pardon me then.
Okay. She takes a step back out of respect.
All right, my dear guests.
Oh God, what the hell?
Please forgive my late introduction. Welcome to the Gallery of Bewilderment.
Oh, what is happening here? Oh boy.
Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Idealist.
The Foundation's investigators have been carefully observing each prisoner's movement since they arrived, but unfortunately, there is no sign of Miss Dores.
I imagine you're curious about what we do here, in the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas.
I mean, I'm guessing it's a society of poets. It's on the name.
We're putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Kamala, our very own Casa de las Americas.
Okay.
Casa de las Americas?
I'm guessing that's important. The Idealist nods with a smile.
Exactly. Named after its great predecessor. You're a fine mind indeed. At this very moment, all our compañeros are working on it. Garcia's exhibition, Alter Ego, is centered around the birth of this magazine. And here, you can see the signatures from all the poets involved, along with a few words they've written for it. Reading it is like looking into the soul of our society.
Okay.
All these signatures.
So Neto steps forward to examine the perplexing artwork. In the dim lighting, the enormous face appears to be a looming watchful over the entire room. A floating slip of paper catches her attention.
Timekeeper, here! It's Dr. Doris' pseudonym, Erd.
Or maybe Doris is the pseudonym. I think Erd is her real name.
Then she was here.
So Neto pockets the slip of paper dutifully. I don't think that's a good idea.
Precisely. She used to be one of us, and still is, if I may correct myself.
And she's here still.
You can ask around here. Maybe some of our members know where she went. Don't we all miss the familiar faces of old friends? I'm sure they'll do everything they can to help you find yours.
As he finishes speaking, several enthusiastic prisoners come forward to greet the idealist.
Mr. Idealist!
Oh,
I finished
that's
my
creepy.
short story. It's called Weightlessness. It drifts around the subject like a sheep floating in space. The readers can start anywhere in the story, or read it in any order they like.
Interesting.
And please take a look at my piece Off Limits! Every word that has been forbidden is either erased or replaced with symbols. It's a one-of-a-kind jarring experience.
Yeah, I can... It would be an interesting read, I will say.
And I finished a new paragraph. Just wrote it today.
Prisoner wrapped in several meters of manuscript paper, like a strange sort of mummy, squeezes into the crowd.
Oh, new faces. Welcome.
You have an actual portrait, so I'm gonna guess you're important. Let's just say that, member 4. Without any warning, he calmly tears the manuscript to shreds. What? The fluttering fragments fall like trailing sparks from a fireworks show. The abrupt welcome ceremony leaves the newcomer stunned, while the natives share knowing smiles.
Idealist, did he just...
This is the writer for the prologue of our magazine.
You're never gonna get it done, my man, if he's like that. The leader of La Sociedad, either misunderstanding or evading the question, responds with enthusiasm.
The prologue consists of a 2,000-line poem and an introduction that is written in 86 languages to avoid misinterpretation. It represents every second we spend here.
2,000-line poem, god damn. 86 languages too. That's gonna be hard as hell to translate. And rhyming? Oh boy. Yeah, we're never gonna get that thing done.
Naturally, the arrival of new members disrupts its structure, and so we must begin again from scratch.
Oh, they're just... I don't know if they're just actual crazy or just normal artists.
So he just tore it all up like that because he thought we were joining? With all due respect, isn't this a little excessive? Heaven knows I'm not one to judge. I've torn up plenty of writing for my novel.
Please, pay it no mind. It may not be an easy task, but he's doing his part. Destruction is hard, but more necessary than you think. Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant pond, with all the smells that entail.
This all sounds very complicated. When will your magazine be finished then?
Thank you, Verton. That's exactly what I want to know.
Forgive me, but I'm not sure what a floating sheet, a jarring reading experience, and all this constant rewriting are meant to express.
The jailer, having remained silent, takes a deep breath and interrupts.
As I've said, Komala is unlike any other prison.
Miss Jailer, do you mean...
This place also serves as a research center. And the prisoners here, for all they claim, are not just poets.
They're arcanists.
They
too.
are arcanist criminals. And each one of them has been diagnosed as mentally ill.
Yeah. The leader of La Sociedad remains composed, like an island on a rough sea, leaving the onlookers to question whether he is entirely mad or the sanest of them all.
You're quite right, Jailer. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm? You, the physician, or the ones outside these walls?
Ah, you're going into philosophy now, I see.
We've been exiled here by the standards of our time, deprived of our roles in the outside world. So please, as we agreed before, I ask you not to interfere with the affairs of La Sociedad.
These people are visitors, not your new recruits.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they would fit in somewhat, because they're traumatized as shit, but I'm not gonna... I probably shouldn't compare trauma to mental illness. I don't know if that's an adequate metaphor. Yeah, that's probably not a very good metaphor, sorry about that.
But should we not hear their thoughts first?
The idealist turns towards the visitor with an urgent plea.
My friends, no one escapes the eye of power. We must resist. Stand with us. Pick up your pen and take poetry as your shield before it is too late.
Idealist, I admire your fight, but I came here with a different goal.
The leader of La Sociedad, caught in his fervor, ignores her words and carries on.
We're the last true owners of an old legend. Words now only remembered as myth.
Okay, buddy?
We must stay on the path of literature until I find that transcendental solution. To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing, yet precise. My poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation.
So you want to go back before the Tower of Babel, basically?
How blessed is a man with infallible memory. He holds the finer details of each object within him, more vivid than anyone else. In the end, he'll have all the answers, if time allows him.
A dreamlike expression crosses his face. It briefly seems like he has become an entirely different person, but in his vision is soon interrupted.
Sweet tongue, sister, howls, hermaphrodite, tango.
What are you talking about?
They put the whole city in the nut house.
Timekeeper, look over there.
Isn't that the prologue writer?
There's
What are we
something
doing?
off about him. Please, Timekeeper, stay away from him.
What's happening?
Idealist, Pablo's having another episode.
Multiples of us. You make reality sick.
What is this guy on? A flash of arcane energy flares up, and the jailer steps into the crowd reactively.
I could use your help, ladies.
Okay, guy went a little cuckoo. Is he not taking his meds? Alright, so let's put New Babel in here, might as well.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, Recolette is here too.
Here.
Oh, she's fixed. Okay.
Playtime, boys and girls.
En la acumulación de laberintos.
Oh, you get her ult immediately, I see. It's a very cool animation. Yeah, let's buff up.
Oh look, here's a right.
En todos los momentos.
Run, start running.
Anyone feeling cold?
A truly villainous moment.
You will pay for this.
Nice tactic.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo.
This can't
Oh, she speaks Spanish when she's attacking. That's cute.
En todos los momentos.
Seeing stars.
Nuestro adversario es el tiempo. Nuestro aliado es la verdad.
None of my
Pay
work.
for
I
this.
take it. Be careful. Oh look, here's another one. That's right.
El camino a Tlón.
We're not afraid of you.
Run, start running.
Hey!
En la acumulación de laberintos. Suéltalo todo una vez más.
That's an AoE attack too, so it doesn't really do much.
You want me to? Oh look, here's another one. Nice tactic. Wow.
We'll find our home one day.
And he's dead. Alright.
Your first-hand experience is our best advertisement.
The forensic prisoner is subdued. He lies convulsing in the center of the exhibition hall.
Poor soul. I'll bring him to bed. Well done, ladies. Aren't you full of surprises?
What was all that?
It seems he had a mental breakdown and lost control of his arcane skill. It appears that every line he recited carried unbridled power.
Okay, I see.
Usually, only specific lines can channel arcane energy. You can't just force the power into words or craft a poem to serve your purpose.
I see. So it's basically Sonetta uses her her Italian poem. I think it's yeah, it's a poem that she uses so to attack, and this is they're creating arcane power or something like that. They are forcing. That's what I'm guessing.
Pablo must have a rare gift for identifying empowered lines. When he recited them all aloud, they overwhelmed him.
I guess, yeah.
That's right. He's a genius who writes the ties of emotion, just like Arthur Rimbaud.
Rimbaud. Like, that's the thing. These names all sound familiar. I'm sure I heard them somewhere, but I don't know where.
We always keep a close eye on him to make sure he doesn't recite anything while reading or writing.
Roberta trades glances between the 10th jailer and her visitors.
But sometimes things slip through.
You must understand how difficult it is for a poet to never taste the words on his own lips.
So then, this isn't the first time, and you're all fully aware of it.
Why are you a jailer of if you don't know this? What are you doing here, then?
Do I understand you right? Did you just admit that you've been hiding an inmate with a dangerous condition from us?
How do you not know these things?
According to the safety regulations for the Panopticon of Kamala, he must be sent to the physician for immediate treatment.
The jailer's command causes a dramatic shift in the room.
No, wait, we can explain. He's doing fine. We know how to help him. This was just an accident. We got distracted by the new members.
We won't be handing him over to the physician.
I do wonder who this physician is.
No true writer would allow their mind, the most sacred palace of their thoughts, to be opened up to that cold-hearted, ignorant butcher. Even one who believes their inspiration flows from a source beyond the mere substance of a brain would refuse it.
Oh, come on, what? Okay, it's not on me this time. Oh, okay, it's server reset time. Okay, never mind. Yep. It's alright. Damn it. God damn it, it's server reset time. Fuck. That's embarrassing. Let's see if we can get back where we were. If we can't, I'll just cut the video here.
Oh, you're awake.
Yeah, might as well just do that. Oh, it's Axe's birthday. Happy birthday, Axe. Yeah, thanks. Please tell me we can... Nope. Alright, I'll see you in... Alright, we're back. It wasn't that far away, so we're fine. The jailer furrows her brow and pulls out her weapon. The air tightens with an invisible thread. How did she took her weapon? Is it like Sif the dog from Dark Souls? Oh, it was literally the last sentence. Really, you couldn't just... God damn it, it was literally the last sentence. Oh, more Doris things. Right, let's see what this is. A woman's documentation of a blind society. Even though they refuse to discuss the outside world, spending even a few days inside the prison makes clear that the reason they are here is precisely that they avoid speaking about. Ushuaia is a cold town on the tip of the Argentina's southernmost territory. The polar night, the frozen sea, the proximity to Antarctica, the endless winter, it all makes the place seem buried by time and forgotten. It possesses all the necessary qualities of a prison, making it an ideal place to send arcanist suspects of diagnosed with mental illness, a place to be forgotten. Setting aside the true definition of madness and their status as prisoners, what I see is in this prison are former poets, writers, and social activists. In their era, some spoke of poetry, then disappeared from society for owning a book by Jean-Pierre Sartre. Some incited grassroots rebellion against the hierarchical structures, only to be exiled. They were repeatedly questioned, why did you read these books? Why did you write these poems? They were branded through organizers, and eventually sent here to partake in an experiment conducted under the name of Foucault and psychoanalysis. It is nearly impossible to determine whether their madness was defined by society because they resisted order, or if it was induced through relentless electric shocks and torture, or perhaps all of these reasons are one and the same. The reason is often avoided, sanitized, or ignored, because deep down we all know how deeply it is woven into the fabric of our lives. At first they said nothing, but this very act of deliberate avoidance was what truly conveyed their grief and fear. I see. Alright, Doris, what else do we have? Rust fills the air, and an exiled bird who has found a branch to rest upon. Enter the darkness.
Fate. Yes. It looms over us, yet each of us may hold the power to steer its course.
Just like this nation of contradictions. Oh, she's trembling. Its fate should also be. In that case, shall we officially begin this salon? The ever-observant Roberta, noticing the tears welling on Octavia's eyes, cuts her off. Would anyone like to share a story on this topic? Whether it's a personal experience or a written tale, let's bring some life into this salon. Well, if no one has anything to say, I could always retell the story of my fateful journey across the Mexican border. Screech. A chair screeches as one man stands, all eyes fall on his face, shadowed by his heavy brow and sharp cheekbones. An unexpected twist. No one noticed him quietly sitting at the edge of the crowd until now. I spent the first half of my life as a bank clerk. One day, sitting behind the glass window, staring at the endless stack of checks, papers, and flyers, it hit me. I was serving a life sentence. So I quit. I went home and decided to write something. My wife threw a fit at first, but when I wouldn't budge, a cold war broke out between us, and then finally, she issued a unilateral eviction notice. I got drunk, punched a bastard officer who was beating a beggar on the streets, and everything after that the blur. When I came to, I was already here, a place that feels more like a home than any other place I ever did. The idealist gave me some water and suggested I write to Aleph. So I did. I wrote a letter and asked a question. 2 weeks later, I got a reply. Just one line. I'm still trying to figure out what it means. In the short span of life, there exists an infinite expeding staircase, and at its end lies nothing but a silent body of water. Julio, I had no idea you had such a story. Why haven't you mentioned it before?
I didn't know you've written to Aleph too.
Octavia, maybe you did choose the right topic. Young, passionate writers like you should carry the dream of changing society. Don't end up like me, waiting until this age to finally pick up the pen. Oh. The hostess, fully engrossed in the story, has almost forgotten it's all about the topic. Great. I suppose it's my turn then. So here's my tale of crossing the Mexican border. Oh, for heaven's sake, spare us. We've heard at least 7 or 8 versions of that story already. Not to mention the 5 short stories in your collection. 5 stories, Roberta. 5. and only difference between them is the narrative perspective. Repetitive narration is indeed an important topic in literary criticism. The remainder of the salon is spent in noisy chatter, as the storytelling quickly spirals out of control. Only Dr. Doris quietly repeats the name to herself.
Aleph.
Mr. Julius' past was an unexpected gold nugget, the perfect material for a biography. I'll treat this with care in the next submission. By then, I had already forgotten I was still in prison. I had been swept into the literary salon. I resolved to record all that I witnessed in this prison. As to whether the inhabitants are truly prisoners, that'll be for the reader to decide. At the time, I did not ask how they found their way into this prison. Like them, I was thinking of purer things. Looking back on this journey, I now see that the tangled strands of Las Babas del Diablo. Las Babas del Diablo, the spit of the devil? The drool of the devil? Something like that. Had formed an interconnected web. Just as the salon gets into full swing, a face emerges from the shadow, only the smile clearly visible. Rarely do I observe the salon from afar, taking in all the symbolic quirks and subtle metaphors. The bridge between reality and unreality, the poetry of the typical and the atypical. This is exactly how I envisioned La Sociedad Secreta de las Americas when I founded it. The new arrival catches her attention. Reality and unreality. Are you referring to the difference between non-fiction and fiction? I'm afraid I haven't quite grasped your full meaning. Ah, but you understood at least part of it, didn't you? That alone proves we're walking in the same path, the unwavering pursuit of an aesthetic truth. We are citizens of the literary kingdom, stargazers chasing the first light to reach the shores of a new world, children crying beneath the tree of pure ideals. And as its founder, oh my god, I can't read. Let's do that again. As its founder, I sincerely invite you to join La Sociedad de las Poetas de las Americas and become one of us. Join La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. That's such a fun thing to say. La Sociedad de los Poetas de las Americas. It's such a fun thing to say. A gentlemanly bow, and an invitation that it's hard to refuse. Everything here carries an air of mystery. The literary gathering, the strange architecture, the enigmatic recipient of all those letters. A rare opportunity.
I'm truly flattered by your invitation. I'd be delighted to join the Poetry Society. But might I trouble you with one question, Mr. Idealist?
You call yourself the founder, so I assume you are the idealist, yes? Ask away. Could you tell me about Aleph? The enigmatic figure, which I'm pretty sure he's Aleph. He's disguised or something. Doesn't want people to know he's there. For some reason. Alright, and we're gonna leave it here for now. Alright everyone. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time in Reverse 1999. Ciao.